It's time for the Gettin Outdoors podcast, Town Country United Bank Lake Millis Ferry Weekend Hunting and Fishing Report, a weekly update on water conditions, events, generating schedules, horse biting, and seasonal hunting information with outdoor reporters Joe Allen Dunn, Kevin Sims, and Shane Jones. This weekly hunting and fishing report is brought to you every week by the good folks at Town Country United Bank in Camden, Alabama, serving their customers for over 40 years. Town Country United Bank's highest priority is satisfied customers. Now, here's your weekend Lake Millis Ferry hunting and fishing report.
There he is. Team Bigfoot, baby. Another one on the B&B Silver Shade. Team Bigfoot in the house.
Shane Jones crappie fishing. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Gettin Outdoors podcast 197 Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report. Me and Joe Allen Dunn live from the Grampian Hills Outdoor Media Center. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
And Kevin's not here today. His mama had to rush her to Mobile last night. I talked to him this afternoon, and she's doing good, got a good report. So everybody keep Miss Dottie and David in your prayers. And
Definitely so.
And old Kevin, he'll be back with us next week. And we miss him, always miss him. I see Freddie's on here. Freddie, I tell you what, man, those aerial photos you took of Millis Ferry the other day brought back some old memories. You see them, Joe Allen? It was the tree nursery right there before you get to your house, and the old drag strip in Millis Ferry. You can see the old drag strip down there, and that brings back some old memories. Merry Christmas, Dick May, and Todd. Yeah, say a prayer for Kevin's mama, Miss Dottie. Shane's coming in a minute. He had to work late, but thanks everybody for tuning in. We got a lot to talk about on today's podcast, Joe Allen. All I did was go over some cold weather hunting tips and techniques and what to do in this cold weather, son. We got some brutally cold weather coming this weekend, and we want everybody to be prepared. I went to Coast True Value and Safford Hardware today and got me a big pack of those hand warmers, those hot hands. And I tell you, everybody needs those. Are the greatest things invented in weather like we fixing to have. And we're going to talk about that. And I also did a showcase, spotlighted all my sponsors this week on the podcast, because I certainly wouldn't be able to do what I do without all my sponsors. And so I hope y'all enjoyed the podcast. We got a little bit to talk about today. Like I said, Shane will be on here in a minute. He was coming home from work. I called the Millis Ferry Powerhouse today. I don't know what this frigid weather's going to do Joe Allen. But right now, tomorrow, at Miller's Ferry, they're going to have one generator running from midnight to 5 p.m. and then from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. 3 units, from 8 p.m. to midnight 2 units. So water's going to be moving all day like it has been.
Right.
I know from those pictures Freddie sent us the other day, which was Sunday, they had half the gates open.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are today.
They got some of them because it was. I went out there and looked at it before I left the house, and it was out in the main current. It was still moving pretty good.
Yeah. And at Jones Bluff, same thing, midnight to 5 p.m. 1 unit, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. 4 units, 8 p.m. to midnight 2 units. And I see Travis Lee's on here. I put a podcast up he did this week. Good podcast, Travis, explaining how he kills all them great big bucks down there in Crenshaw County. And I appreciate you tuning in tonight, Travis. Yeah. Where are you? Up in Tennessee, ain't you, Dick? He said he's going to have wind chills from minus 15 to minus 25 up there. It's going to be zero or sub-zero here, Dick, and we just ain't used to that kind of weather. So we can't tell everybody enough to be getting ready. I'm telling you, it's some things that you really need to think about. You've been doing that all day long, ain't you, Joel?
I told Big Daddy when the store was kind of slack, and the reason why, went to the hardware store, everybody was toting out bundles of wrapping stuff, pipe, insulation, tape, everything, and I was in there doing the same, and come over here and wrap my pipes, and I still got a little bit to do tomorrow evening, and I'll be through. But everybody's getting ready because they scared to death. If you ever been in a situation where the power goes out and your pipes all bust, you got weeks of work trying to get that.
And that's what could happen. That's what people ain't thinking about. Those winds are going to be blowing anywhere from 20 to 30 miles an hour with 14-degree weather. Yeah. And you know, those pine trees are going to get brittle and they're going to snap off. And I'm telling you, you better have a generator ready, an electric heater with a generator. You better have a good fireplace. This is nothing to play with right here. It's nothing to play with. And you guys that are going hunting, and I know some of them are going to go hunting this weekend, you just can't put enough clothes on and get to use some of those hot hands. And as I was saying on the podcast, even your guns, if you have recently cleaned a gun, that oil will gum up. Yeah. And so you just got to be in that kind of weather. You got to be really, really careful. And I'm telling you, and I've never hunted in that kind of cold weather. I fished in the weather when you had to bust the ice in the minnow bucket to get minnows. Yeah. But that was stupid, you know, because that water temperature, what was it today? 55 degrees? 55. And I don't know what it's what this weather's going. Let's bring Shane in. He can probably tell us. Good morning, Shane.
Hey,
how you doing, my friend?
I just walked in the door. I was trying to jump in here. I kept me a little late at work, but that's all right.
What you doing working so late?
Well, we got all these plants got outages going on. I'm keeping everybody, make sure they get all their stuff and all that, so where they can keep moving because they trying to knock it out. They don't want to have to work on Friday, you know, when it's supposed to be butt cold freezing. So
yeah. Merry Christmas, Miss Hazel. How you doing tonight? Slab Busters are tuned in. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Dick May is in Sparta, Tennessee, and he said it's going to be minus 15, minus 25. Your wind chill. We lost Shane. Maybe he'll come back. But antifreeze, antifreeze and all the vehicles, cover the plants, water spigots. Bring in the pets, and I don't care what anybody says. Let that water run in your house. I don't care how much insulation you got on the pipe. Yeah, because that's gonna show it's fixing to get just brutally cold. And I just hope everybody's ready for it because this kind of weather we are not used to down here, Joel. No, we're just not used to it. And so everybody heads up, be safe, prepare, and check on the elderly, check on people that might not, and help them, you know, and and just be ready. It's going to be Friday, it's going to be Saturday, and it's going to be Sunday. It's going to be 3 days of brutally cold weather. And so be ready for it. And everybody check on everybody. And if you going hunting, nobody needs to get on that river this weekend. Nobody, because that wind's going to be blowing 10, 15, 20 miles an hour. And it's not, no fish is worth getting out on that river this weekend.
Well, I tell you, in my years of hunting, this kind of type of weather, most of the deer, the game itself, what they do is hunker down.
Uh-huh.
It really is not a lot of moving. They'll get up and feed a little bit in midday or in the mid-afternoon, a little bit, just enough, and they gonna hunker down. They can't. The best thing for them to do is stay where they can keep, warm.
Yeah.
So they don't do a lot of moving in that wind and cold. I mean, the only way what we used to do was hunt clear cuts and go around throwing sticks down in them bottoms and make them get up.
Yeah, the only thing is this weather's good for is old Jared Hussey can go coon hunting. It'll be 14 degrees, Jared. You need to get them coons tree.
Yeah. Them coons gonna stay in that tree and keep warm.
Yeah, the best thing for y'all to do. Hey, Jason Domain, how you doing, my friend? I didn't tag you in it, but they're having a jig making competition in Mississippi in January. You need to go get in that thing. I'll be talking. I'm gonna talk with the guy about it in January, but that's over there. He's doing a jig making contest.
I'd like to go there.
Yeah, I'd like to see it too. And anyway, so everybody take this cold serious. Stay at home. Have plenty of firewood. Be prepared if your lights go out. Have you a plan for that? Because it could happen. It darn sure could happen.
I'm trying to figure out. It's going to drop so drastically. What kind of wind are we going to have?
15 to 25 to 30 miles an hour. Yeah, I printed this out at 5 o'clock this afternoon. High 53 east winds, 5 miles an hour. Tonight, cloudy, 43. Thursday is going to be 60 degrees, so it ain't going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
That'll give you plenty of time tomorrow to get everything ready. Here, listen to Thursday night. A 30% chance of showers before midnight, cloudy, then gradually becoming clear with a low tomorrow night, Thursday night, 15 degrees. Wind chill values between 5 and 10. Blustery with southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming northwest 15 to 20 miles an hour. Wind gusts could be as high as 35 miles per hour with 15-degree weather. Then Friday, the high Friday is 27 degrees with 15 to 20 mile an hour winds and gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. Friday night, 13 is the low with winds as high as 20 miles an hour. And then Saturday, 30 degrees, the high, winds, gusts 20 miles an hour. Then Saturday night, Saturday night will be 16, northwest winds 5 miles an hour. So that ain't going to be so bad Saturday night. And then on Christmas Day, it's going to be a high of 37, northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. And that's Christmas Day, 37 degrees. When I had a motorcycle, I wouldn't ride my motorcycle unless it was 40 degrees. So that's 37 degrees is motorcycle riding weather. And we got old Shane back. Shane, have you ever hunted in this kind of cold weather we're going to have this weekend?
Oh, I have. I've been to Ohio. But, the bad thing, people don't understand the wind. That 25 mile an hour wind is not, you can't get prepared for it. I mean, not sitting inside, you might get in a shooting house, but you're in a tree stand, there's nothing on you going to want to move. I mean, these people in Canada do it, but they've got hot hands and heaters and they're in a box, but I don't think deer are going to move in that big, that's
what Joe Allen, that's what he said. They
going to hunker down. I seen cows all day long driving around. They're all laying down. I mean, all day long, they getting ready, getting a warm spot because people don't realize there's moisture in that ground to freeze.
Yeah.
If they don't get them a spot, them animals know. They got to warm them a spot up to lay.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But anyway, we can't be too careful because we are just not used to this kind of weather down here. We can't emphasize that enough. I mean, this is not going to be your, the last time we had weather back like this was back in the 80s. Some of you guys wasn't even born then. So,
it said, what, 79? They said 1979?
Yeah, yeah.
Was it supposed to be -4 or feel like -4 Friday? I think that's what I heard.
No, I just read that Friday night it's going to be 27 with 15 to 20 mile an hour winds gusting to 30 miles an hour. Now that's the daytime 27. Friday night it's going to be 13 with wind gusts 20 miles an hour. Saturday night it's going to be 16, but the wind's not going to be blowing at 5 miles per hour. And then Christmas Day it's going to 37. That's what I said. I used to have a 40-degree limit when I had my motorcycle. I'd ride it when it was 40 degrees.
Oh yeah, I fished when it was 15 before, and I fished all day.
Yeah,
several years. We had an ice storm several years ago. I did.
But anyway, one more time, everybody be prepared. Get prepared for this. This is going to be some brutally cold weather that we just ain't used to in South Alabama. Now, let's talk about something that took over. Y'all might not know it, but I'm sitting by one of the most famous men in South Alabama, one of the captains. Him and Todd done started something, Travis. They are getting notes from the old English teacher wanting to write a cookbook and all kind of stuff like that. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. They got to get a little better at presentation and smiling and add a little flavor like old Stale Crocker does. But
that's working on. We're gonna do it. But I think the key to it is everybody's relating to home cooking, and wild game, and that's the main draw is wild game, home cooking. That's what they like.
That's exactly right. Y'all doing a good job, but now you have got some room for improvement.
Oh yes, everybody has
presentation.
Yes. The thing Miss Carolyn pointed out quick was y'all better need to smile a little bit more. And I said, and Todd said, "I will. I promise. I promise."
And like y'all mentioned this dirt road dust.
Yeah.
And you did a little bit about how y'all made that flavor, but you need to go in a little more detail. And when Todd poured that Coca-Cola based barbecue sauce, everybody wanted to know how to make that.
Yeah. Well, we will go into that detail, but I got tickled at Todd in talking about that dirt road dust. I said, reach up and grab that jar right over there. And I said, that's the uncut version. And let me back up. He was over there fumbling around in my cabinet looking at stuff, and he opened it up and stuck his nose in, and he liked to fell out. He said, "That ain't for young folks right there." I said, "No, that probably killed young children." And he said it almost couldn't breathe. It was so hot. I said, "That is the uncut version right there." But
well, y'all doing good, and we y'all gonna do one a month, and might even throw in a little short.
Well, yeah, we're gonna start doing some shorts.
What do they call them on YouTube? Shorts. That's what they call them.
That's it. That's
where you get your show enough views.
Yeah, them short versions, a little stuff. Like I was telling you, I heard of a turnip soup recipe, and I'm getting it put together. Todd's he's the one got a real good one, and of course we always like to compare with 2 or 3 recipes and then combine them and see what it tastes like on turnip soup. And that'll be a little short one. But we're thinking about ducks next, and then maybe coon. We're going to follow the season, then do turkey, some stuff. Todd has a heck of a recipe for turkey legs and thighs, because he brought me some one day when he got through doing some, said, try this. And he makes like a dip with it. You dip crackers with it out of turkey legs and thighs. That was unreal. It was sort of like a tuna dip or something, but it was made with turkey legs and thighs, and it was delicious.
Well, I tell you, it's going to be a hit. Y'all can watch it on you can go to Gettin Outdoors YouTube channel, or I put all 4 episodes on my website, www.gettingoutdoorsradio.com. That's the easiest way to watch all 4 of them. All right, let's move on now. Starting December the 26th, we are going to start taking pictures for the Gettin Outdoors 2023 Camp Chef photo challenge. Now, this is going to be where you send a picture in of your prepared plate, stovetop, buffet photos. We're going to let you submit 3 photos per month with a brief description. Recipes are optional. If you want to put the recipe in there, that's fine. Put the county, the state, and hashtag GOCCPC. So when you type in hashtag GOCCPC, you'll be able to see all the pictures, and that must be on your photo when you submit it. Photos with the most likes, shares, and engagement will win the monthly cooking gear prize. And I thought about that today. We might let the camp chefs judge on the pictures. We might change that up. That way it'd be a little bit more fair. I won't make it a popularity contest, but we got time to talk about that. The winner will be announced the first of every month. The top 12 winners of the year will at the end of the year will be judged for a grand prize of either a one of those nice not what kind of fryer is it? Cajun fryer. Cajun fryer, or one of those Blackstone show enough nice griddles. And I picked up the first prize for January today at Safford Trading Company, and this is the first prize. It's a nice griddle set. It's got 2 spatulas, it's got some bottles for you oil, a knife, and a fork. So that is going to be the first prize for January of 2023 for the Camp Chef Photo Challenge. So send your photos in.
Well, not only that, the Big Daddy, but the winner, we're going to
invite them.
Yeah. Either me and Todd will come there and video them cooking that dish, or they can come to my camp and we'll video them cooking that dish there.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be part of that big prize.
Yeah. And we just, I don't know how it's going to work. We just put it together.
Yeah.
We're going to play it by ear. And one thing about us, we can change the rules in the middle of the game if we have to.
Oh, yeah.
But everybody, this cooking thing has really gotten popular, Shane. All those videos you put up cooking them steaks at Joe Allen's house and all that stuff. You know, everybody cooks every weekend.
Well, that's something everybody's got in common. Everybody loves food. I mean,
yeah.
You know, and they might catch a different way to cook something. That, you know,
you look at being Big Daddy. We love to eat.
Yeah, but I'm going down. You coming up now. Yeah. I weighed this morning. I'm down to 300 pounds. That's the first time I've been there in a long time.
You ready to run a marathon? Then
I need to get down to 260. I got to get my knees fixed, man. I'm crippled. I got to.
I come a long way with that knee replacement, buddy.
Yeah.
I've had a bunch of buddies do it.
I'm gonna do that in 2023. I'm gonna commit to that. All right, let's get into the. And we really ain't got much to talk about the weekend hunting and fishing report, but
ain't gonna be much going on.
Let's talk about what happened last week. And I was so proud to see Scott and Casey get out there in that cold weather, and they caught the devil out of some fish. Now
they did good.
They giving Travis a run for his money. That's the second. I don't think Team Dirty Hooker is going to be the same.
No, it's going to be a shakeup.
And when I was at Safford today, I had 2 guys ask me when the next jugging contest is going to be. And I told them, I said, I'm not doing it, but Joe Allen and Taylor.
In a way, you still doing it. In a way, you're not. You handed part of it over to me, and I'm taking care of that. Did today. We're getting the flyers printed. We're going to have our first one's going to be February. I think it's the 18th. I got to look at it again. And then the other one will be, I think it's going to be
March. Didn't you say?
No, it's going to be later, June the 13th.
Well,
I got to go back.
February the 18th is the first.
February the 18th for sure is the first one. I got to go back. They're all going to be at Roland Cooper like we've always done. It's pretty much the same rules. But anyway, we getting the flyers. Taylor Ward and Jessica, they gonna get into it big. They're gonna be big helpers in this.
Yeah,
More or less, they go the ones going to hit it.
Yeah.
So you look at
and we got them at the Roland Cooper State Park now. They bring it. They'll have everything set up. And so February the 18th, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. But anyway, I'm mighty proud of Scott and Casey for catching those fish on the jugs and the jugging tournament February the 18th. Now, me and you and Kevin and Scott and Travis have kind of a tradition on the first day of the
that's
year.
our little grudge match deal. You know, it's going to be New Year's Day, and we're going to cook our traditional black-eyed peas and have collards, and we're going to have fried catfish along with it. We always do.
We have some. We boy, in 2020 we nailed them.
Yeah.
We nailed them. But anyway, we'll look forward to that. We'll do some live stuff, and maybe they'll have the towel hooked up by then. But I'm not going to tell anybody what to do catfishing this weekend because I don't want nobody out there on that lake the way it's going to be. Bud just sent me a message that it's going to be -5 wind chill in Grove Hill.
Well, it's going to be brutally cold, but I don't think the river ain't going to be ripping and roaring and high or nothing like that.
No.
And I looked at that color today. It had actually, that's what Shane wants. It had his color today.
I like that gold.
Perfect.
It is making a recipe. I'm on vacation. The good Lord bless me next week. My boss let me off. This water's gonna kill some shad. It's gonna be on next week. It's gonna be great.
How cold is that water got to get, Shane, before it kills?
I've seen it. In the upper 40s start making it. You'll see them shads start flickering. That's what you want. You want to see some of them die off. It hasn't had a shad kill in probably I don't know how many years. Used to have one about every 2 years you had a big shad kill, and it helped you out a little bit. And because right now we can talk about when you do the crappie report, but those big schools will come by and take a fish away from you, and they'll just take off.
Yeah.
The water's 60 degrees. I mean,
Well, let's do the crappie report right now. And before we get into what we're going to do, I want to mention the Alabama Crappie Masters. They got their next tournament January the 4th. They moved it from Swift Creek to Cooter's Pond. You gonna fish in it?
Yes, sir.
And that is if everything stays like I think it's gonna stay. If we don't get no big rain and a flood,
it's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be a shootout with some of the top name fishermen in the state of Alabama. It's going to be a shootout. And it wouldn't surprise me if we had 7 fish that weighed 16, 17 pounds.
Ain't no telling that. It's going to be the weather. That's what it's supposed to be in the wintertime. That's what you want.
That's the same fisherman that was killing the Wally Marshall's tournament. That's the same. Alabama fishermen are the main ones in all of it.
Yeah, I'm sure Brandon will be there. I don't know if Eric will be. He's booked up. I talked to him the other day, but they're also saying, Elmore County's putting a little money into it, so everybody needs to try to buy their gas and try to spend money in that county because they're the ones putting the money into the tournament. So.
Yeah, we'll be pushing that before January the 14th. Now, also was another announcement made this week by the National Crappie League.
That's right.
I've never heard of it before. You sent me the information, Shane.
Yes,
and they got a tournament on the Alabama River. I don't know where they're going to go. Elmore County is the primary sponsor. That's going to be on March the 4th and the 5th, a 2-day tournament. Now,
that's right.
They're going to have 2 divisions, ain't they, Shane?
I think so. They're slowly coming out with the rules to those tournaments. They got to open, and then they got to, I guess, one if you haven't won so much money before you can fish it. I mean, they're hard. It's hard to keep up with all these rules, but they are going to be down there for 2 days. So. And
Freddie says that he said it's a 45-degree water temp for shad mortality.
That's what we need.
55. And I believe it'll drop another.
I hope that surface temperature drops down. I fished 44 before, and I'm telling you, and it's people don't understand when the water gets warm, the fish spread out. And when it gets colder, you get some Lake Martin, all the lakes, you get a lot of schooling fish. And that's the water's supposed to be, I'm going to say it's supposed to be 51, 52 right now. It's been 63 and 64 and
55 today.
Today is 55.
55, that's fine. 53 is great, because, in the spring, 58, those big females are starting to go to the bank.
Yeah,
You know, they're starting to make a push, and you get a couple warm nights, and it's 62, and some of them's laying out.
Yeah,
that's
right.
They don't know what to do when it's 50-something degree water. So,
hey Shane, Mike Letkin sent me a picture this week of a big old crappie on a boat.
yeah.
And he didn't have no scales in his boat. He took it to somebody. I don't know who he took it to. And they weighed it. And that fish weighed 3 pounds and 5 ounces. Now, Mike is supposed to be a crappie fisherman. Now, who is going to catch a 3-pound crappie and not know what? I'm telling you.
That's a big. I know it's big, and I don't know how big it was, but it was big.
I ain't never caught a 3-pound. And
it looked like it was big as that bucket. So I imagine that thing was 17 and a half, 18 inches. I don't know what it was.
Well, if pictures get out like that, it's going to be some major crappie tournaments on Miller's Ferry.
You need to get him to buy a good set of scales at Don's Boat next time he comes in there. But all right, Shane, I know you're not going to crappie fish.
No, sir. I got to go to Florida.
You better not eat all them pecans before you take them.
Man, he gave me I grabbed a handful and went out the door, and I had squirrels chasing me outside. Them things is good.
They are good. Hey, but Travis Powell says, tell Shane to talk about the Cormorant page. He said,
I seen that. Yeah, I sent an invite.
Lake Wise. They're trying to, they had an eradication program here about those cormorants one time and let folks shoot them.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Tim Pentecost and them's leading up there at Weiss Lake. They're real big advocates and everybody's sharing pictures of crappie that's got scars on them and sores where those cormorants have bitten them or swam down and got them. And so hopefully they're going to try to get a push where you can, I'd love to go hunt them things.
Mm-hmm.
What have I been saying for years about?
Same thing. We've had that conversation a bunch, but I seen a bunch of pelicans down at Miller's Ferry the other day. So
there's a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm. So pelicans and terns. A lot of people think they are seagulls, but they're terns. A lot of them out there.
Right. There's a lot of birds, but Weiss Lake, man, those cormorants up there. Back when I was younger, that was the crappie capital of the world.
Yeah.
And
well, they claim to be the crappie capital of the world, but
yes, but now it's people don't realize when you get that many. The other day I was in Miller's Ferry, and I was up in one of those creeks, and I tried to video it, but I bet there was 10,000 of them things rafting out there in the middle of the creek.
Yeah, what they do is they push those fish.
They drive them.
They drive them up in the
drive.
Oh yeah, and hey, I'd get me a case of shells and I'd just chase them down. Hey, I don't want them eating those. I'm the only one that's supposed to be eating them fish.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Jason Domain says Division 1 is when you can fish at, and that's at National Crappie League.
Yes, sir. I see
you
it.
can fish if you haven't won more than $5,000 in the last 2 years, and then they have the open division.
That's right.
So, but you would want to fish in the open division.
Yes, sir. I think the entry fee is $500 on the open, and it's $350 for the the Division 1 or whatever. So, but if I was going to go take my chances against them big dogs, I would have to just pay and fish the open.
And, I like the way they got that set up, and I guess
they're doing a lot of different stuff, and they got that new ACT format where you're going to weigh in whatever legal limit fish as many as you can, kind of like that major league fishing. That would be fun.
Yeah.
And the mortality rate of the fish will be great because you get to turn them loose.
Yeah. It's a lot of things going on in the crappie world, and we're gonna be keeping up with it. But now, if somebody wants to go in that darn wind, and this weekend, Shane, what would you do? I wouldn't go.
I don't know, man. I to be honest with you, the only thing I can tell you without being a smart butt, when you find them, you're gonna find them. It's not gonna be it's not going to be I'm not going to say, Alabama River hadn't been high enough to really blow fish out. The Demopolis has been, of course. It's been 15 foot high, but it's starting to calm down. I looked at the levels. It's 82. But if you find those fish in a brush pile or some laid down timber, and, when I went to Mitchell Sunday, I found, I seen 1,000 fish and I caught 8, and that ain't no exaggeration. They just wasn't biting, it was one of them weekends, but they're getting bunched up, and that's what they'll start doing on some of these rivers too.
You need more cold weather. They'll go back to bite.
Well,
Bud wants to know if you got any buddy type heaters.
Got plenty of. bud.
Yeah, you need to pick you one. People don't understand when you're out there fishing, if you can get a heater like from Dunn Sports, like you said, can just thaw your hands out just for a minute.
Yeah.
Man, that's going to keep you out there a lot
And
longer.
you put them hot hands in your
Oh,
pocket.
yeah.
I guarantee you they'll keep you on.
Well, I got a face mask, and I bought one of those cheap paintball masks from Amazon. They're $20, and it saves your face from getting windburn, and you can prepare for it. You can get out there, but
them gloves you bought me were great.
They are good. I actually had to cut a couple fingers out, Joe, with those. I think you said you was going to carry them. I forget. They're called hot shots, maybe. What are they called?
Yeah, they were good. Well, the main thing, they was waterproof.
Well, I actually grabbed some fish out of the live well. With them, but I would go out there, like I said, when you find them, you find them. I mean, if you're diehard enough to go, if I was hanging around here, I might have to go myself.
Leon Wade said there's 500 or 600 cormorants in the Marina Slough every day right now.
Kill them all.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they do open it up. If they start something up there at Wise Lake, maybe they'll open it up and say, hey, I don't care if it's just a week or whatever,
All right, let's talk about bass fishing. I have not got a bass tournament on my calendar till February. I'm kind of don't know what to do without a bass tournament every weekend.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell you, Leon. What is the bass? Is anybody bass fishing? I know.
Oh yeah,
I know it's some. What's they doing, Joanne?
Well, there with this water, we done had the semi-high water. We're having a little bit higher again. They're gonna make a shift now, and they're gonna go in them sloughs, them bigger deep water sloughs, and the edges of those flats, and they're gonna be kind of hunkering down. They're gonna be right now looking at where they're gonna spawn come spring with some deep water, real close, and they're gonna be gorging on Chad. When that water gets cold, they're gonna drop down or get, ain't gonna hardly move at all. They go slow. Fixed to be pig and jig weather, what I call it.
With a slow presentation.
Very slow. And
you're gonna have some A-rig and some jerk bait. A lot of people love fishing jerk baits when it gets cold.
And Kevin's been talking about the A-rig. It hadn't been quite cold enough. Well, that's changed.
Yeah. It's got a bunched up, but when it gets real cold, I like to go to a pig and jig and then, get them fish. It's just slow. That's when you got to get slow now.
All right, let's talk about small game. If y'all are not keeping up with Sarah, the closer, Parvin, she is catching some of those giant bluegill.
Things are big.
I'm telling you. And she's putting up a video about it every day. So y'all need to go check her out. Squirrels. Now's the time to go squirrel hunting, coon hunting, rabbit hunting. Old Grandma Karen's tuned in out there in California. Good evening, Grandma Karen.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Ducks. I saw a few duck hunters at the landing Saturday morning.
But this is duck hunting weather, and this front's gonna push some in there.
They're exactly right, Joe. If it freezes up north, they're gonna push them.
They gotta come here.
When I went to Cypher this afternoon over there in Prairie, where those ponds are in Prairie, and then on Highway 5, it was some kind. I couldn't tell what kind, but it was ducks in every one of them ponds.
They probably old gadwalls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of gray ducks.
All right, they made an announcement today. Red snapper season is closing on December the 31st. That's the longest red snapper season I can ever remember in Alabama. But I did see where they closing the oyster beds. Now I need to talk to Captain Troy about that.
Yeah, I ate some oysters last night.
Yeah.
Well, that closing snapper season, but I heard also it's in the rumor mill that the federal government's going to get in there and monkey it up again and have our season short or cut it out or whatever. They're going to cut out our quota that we can have by half. So,
it's getting to where it ain't even worth even going out there to catch.
No, cost. It ain't cost effective.
No,
you can catch two per person. There's a lot of other fish you can catch. But
Merry Christmas, Jackie Watson and Mark Bolden. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. All right, here. Huh?
I said my buddy's catching some sheephead right now in Destin. They've been sending me pictures all day.
Good.
Yeah.
It's a good eating fish
You
there.
darn right. I ain't never ate one, but they say it is.
Oh, yeah,
It
they
is.
catching them. I want to really get down there with that live scope against them bridges and catch them myself.
I got old buddy Jay Gunn down there been promising me a red, what do you call them? Not a red snapper, but
Redfish.
no, not a redfish.
Speckled trout.
Speckled trout if in a sheephead fishing trip
Yeah.
for 10 years. and
Well,
I ain't
he's a
gone.
man, I tell you what.
Heck yeah, he is.
He's a fish catching fool.
All right,
Jay Gunn.
I'm getting videos from deer. They are chasing.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are scrapes, and there are rubs everywhere. So the rut is this cold weather liable to trigger that rut.
Well, it is. What is the coming up? The winter? What do they call it? Soldiers or whatever.
Yeah.
What
Yesterday was the shortest day of the year, I think.
So
and now they
that
start
triggers
getting
them.
longer.
Yep, that triggers the rut.
And don't forget about the Wilcox Area Chamber Big Buck Contest. They drew the $250 winner today, and Jerry Longan from Pensacola won it today. Next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I think it's December the 31st and January the 1st is the Big Doe Contest, the second Big Doe Contest. You got to have a ticket, but if you kill a doe, you don't have to turn your ticket in to enter your doe in the contest. And that's about all I got. Well, let's mention one more time, everybody, about this cold this weekend, Shane. We want everybody to be careful.
That's
Remember,
right.
the wind's going to be blowing. And Big Mama Brian Taylor's on. You see all them lead weights he made up?
Yeah.
Them dragon weights? You need to sell them in the store, Joel.
Yeah, if I want to remind everybody, if they're going to get out in the cars, I need to put blankets in there.
Yeah.
Some extra food. You don't ever know. In that kind of weather, you don't know what your car's going to do. You know.
And just think about this. 14 degrees, wind blowing 25 miles an hour, and your lights go out. And you all electric house. You better have.
I got a propane. People need propane or kerosene. I mean, the only thing that scares me is the ice and it rains and pine trees get wet, and then it freezes over. Then the power's gone. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Todd says today is one of solstice, Joe Allen, officially at 3:47 this afternoon.
All right.
It's okay.
So that's that.
Get ready for the rut then.
Yeah.
My phone's been going off all evening. They starting to bump around up here.
I do want to mention before we let Shane go, before we get through, Shane Jones' appearance on the Getting Outdoors podcast, Huntin Fishin Report, is sponsored by Bob Sykes Barbecue in Bessemer, Alabama. And I'm going to tell you, he's been putting up some pretty darn good pictures of that barbecue.
Me and our crew, one of our vendors carried our crew up there today.
Yeah.
That brisket day. There was probably 10 or 12 of us up there eating today. He's a good old fella.
Well, we appreciate him letting you come on here with us and being one of your sponsors.
That's real barbecue.
Oh, yeah. Whenever you come up here, I'll come back down there. I'll drag some of that down there with me. So
yeah, get some of that brisket. I love that brisket. All right, that's all I got, Shane. You going to Florida? Hope you be careful, man.
Yes, sir, I will. I'm gonna get ready for next week. Hopefully, we're gonna get some. Tommy's coming up from Florida. We're gonna try to make some YouTube videos now. We'll be able to. Hopefully, we're gonna catch some fish. So
yeah. And once again, I don't know if you heard us, Shane. Kevin's mama had to be rushed to the hospital last night. He couldn't be here, but he told me this evening she got a good report. Her vitals are good, so maybe they'll get her fixed up and get her home. But everybody keep us Dottie and David in your prayers, and Kevin and his family, and he'll be back next week, I'm sure. Brian Taylor said he's going to Wheeler next week, catch him big 100-pound catfish.
I seen some people posting some big catfish up there.
Yeah. Well, I listened to the SmackDown catfishing show last night, and I'm telling you, this catfishing is getting like this crappie fishing. I mean, it's getting organized and getting some big money in it, I guarantee you. All right, everybody have a great week. Happy New Year. Good Christmas. It's going to be a cold Christmas, but, ain't nothing we can do about that. Just hunker down. This time next week, it'll all be over with, and we'll be talking about hopefully catching those crappie out of that cold water, Shane.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping the good Lord blesses me with a good week. So I'm hoping. Like I said, people continue calling me and message me. I love talking about crappie fishing. I get them all. If I got time, I'll take a break from work and call. And I was on the phone last night, 12 o'clock last night.
There you go. Well, we appreciate everything you do with us and all the information you bring to us, because I tell you what, it means a lot to all of my listeners. Merry Christmas, Tammy Nelson. You tuned in, and I appreciate you tuning in tonight. And that's all I got. Shane, Merry Christmas. Thanks,
sir.
Merry
Joe Allen,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for everything you do. Y'all go check out the Camp Chefs. You can go to YouTube channel, Getting Outdoors YouTube channel, or GettinOutdoorsRadio.com. I got all 4 episodes up there. And we'll see y'all next Wednesday night. Remember, be careful, and it's going to be cold, brutally cold this weekend. So y'all be prepared. Stand by, Shane.
Yes, sir.
Pap taught me every critter's track and how to set a hair trigger on a trap. He taught me to shoot, scale, and skin and make a snare with a leather strap. He taught me to be a part of the woods and all his woodsy tricks. Said you gotta walk soft on 2 light feet and try not to break no stick. I thank Daddy for my savvy, how to hunt and how to carry anything that I might need to get a piece of skillet meat. How to walk and how to hide, how to crawl and how to slide, how to sneak, stalk and climb and do it all on 2 light feet.